ego, and other
Yeah,
way they
that's it.
cut totally their ego.
We're live on the
Wait.
Tru-Mon Show, episode 132 with my brother Nick from Moscow. How are you, Nick?
Hello, it's very sunny evening. At least we have a
Great.
spring because it's very unusual that in May Moscow people have snow and it's cold. But today it's like plus 15 and everybody outside
That's great.
making sausages.
Yeah,
So it's very nice day.
you know, springtime is a very enjoying moment for everybody. Everything come back to life, and everybody raise their vibration. That's why I put on the show today, raising the vibration from from Montreal to Moscow, because that's what we're gonna do today. We're gonna raise the vibration a bit. I think this is what this plane needs. It's raising the vibration. I say plane because I have no proof it's a planet, so I say a plane. But yeah, so far that's it. The vibrations are very low, and that's what we have to do as people who can carry a little bit more, carry, not only carry but also express ourselves, and through our dreams and through our what we have to accomplish here. You know, we don't want to leave without leaving a trace, so we want to leave something behind, and Nick is doing a great job at this. Nick is I'm just gonna give a little introduction on your what you do, so people can situate a bit. Who is Nick? You know, who is Nick Klimenko? Chronos, alias Chronos. You know,
Who is
Moscow-based
it?
musician, sound producer, sound designer, live performer, and teacher. 15 years of experience with music as DJ, producer, radio show player, and on and on and on. You can add to it. You can add to the list. You're very experiment when it comes to talking about music, and especially I think modifying instrument to make different sounds that we don't really hear from a natural keyboard. I saw you doing all kinds of projects, modifying instrument and finding new sounds. They're like, I'm very interested by that. I find that listen, it's very inspiring because you go to the you really seize every opportunity you have around you, and I find that very inspiring. And but before, I just want to big up O'Neill, also big up O'Neill from Plastic Magic Record, because it's O'Neill from Vancouver that referred me to you. He said you should get in touch with Nick. He's got great vibe, man. He said you should have him on the Tru-Mon Show. So here we are. We are me and Nick here on the Tru-Mon Show. But also the reason why we get together is also because we're both in the dream, in the present moment, enjoying the present and sharing our journey with you guys. So Nick, this is it, man. You, we're gonna keep it simple. I don't like to, to make that too complicated. Life is simple. We tend to make it complicated, unfortunately. But some of us are realigning with our true nature. We are starting to remember, I think, from a big major scale, that there's an awakening on Earth. I think it's something we can all feel. Probably you can share your thoughts with me on that, because the vibrations are raising. Not because why I say that, because I hear the truth being spoken from everywhere. There's voice resonating everywhere, and people jumping into action, and to really, enough the lies and the rumors and stuff from Babylon. We have enough, and we're just coming out. And at one point we have to end the mental slavery of Babylon. We have end the physical slavery. Now we are unfortunately under massive mental slavery. It's a mental genocide out there, because most people are not living up to their greatness, are not manifesting their greatness. And I think it's an essential part of our journey here to manifest something. So what's your take on this, Nick? I'll let you go on a bit. I have a big mouth. I can talk a lot. I do shows alone. But I have lots of. I'm very vocal, but I want to hear you on this. What's like the shift in awareness happening on Earth?
Well, it's so nice to hear your voice and your thoughts. I will try to keep my English on the level, because my English, it's not my native language. But anyway, I will try. Yes, for sure. This shift in minds, it's now it's now seen everywhere, and I first time saw it like in I think it 96 and or 97 when my family start to learn esoterical things and spiritual things. The whole my family is in on the spiritual way, and my father is in spiritual school
That's
in
good.
Moscow, like 9 years or something.
Oh, good.
And in 2000, when 21st century came, I see many shifts in people around, and I saw how people changing in a very they changing very fast, and they growing in a very small period. They're
And
getting better, they're getting deeper.
you know, one thing also, you're from Russia. I want to just make a little something in your intervention. Is you're from Russia, and Russia has experienced collectively a lot of pain body. Okay, you've been under communism and a very harsh system, and you have end the system of communism. I know it's not the greatest system in place now. It's just another thing. I know, but you still been under very, very heavily pain body collectively. So I think Europe, that's why Europe is more awake in general than people in North America, here in Canada or USA, that are very dormant. I'm sorry, but very much. And in Europe, there's a bigger awakening due to the collective pain body. What do you think about that?
Uh, yeah, I think that Russia had really hard times, like 60 or 70 years ago. But also with these hard times, people had, I would say, they had a cultural legacy.
Yeah. Something
And
was left behind. Something was left behind.
yeah, yeah, and this cultural legacy was like a lighthouse to people to move on.
Yeah.
For now, how much is it? 70 years from the Second World War. For now, people in Russia a bit losing the cultural legacy because lots of things are now for free. Let's say lessons and the same YouTube lessons and free schools and free all. And this free, not always good because it's have no respect in people when you get something free. You don't feel a big respect for it. So because we have now freedom in all the in all life and in all creativity stuff like music and paintings and all this. It's very great that people are developing their creativity.
Yeah.
But I looking on youth, on Moscow youth and in Russian youth, and I don't see light in the eyes, and I don't see the sparkle in the eyes. Russian youth spending lots of time in computer games, on the television, and in past, I'm 31. When I was a kid, my dad listening to the Deep Purple and Pink Floyd, the Klaus Schulze, and he using tape recorders, we are listening music on tapes, and he always motivating me, my older brother, uh, to do something with the sports, with the creativity, with your mind. Yeah, uh, all the time go forward. Now I see the young parents, and they rather give to their child iPad and say, "Go do something with the iPad. Go for my eyes. I want to spend some time alone like this."
Yeah. But I think, you know what?
Unfortunately, Russian people losing the culture. But instead of that, we also having a rise of how it called, like Slovenian culture. So old Russian roots are slowly growing, and we have lots of communities who's living not in big cities. They're living in the forests. They have communities. These communities living without electricity, like this. So it's like back to the roots.
Yeah. But that's what we need. We need to go back to our roots everywhere. We've been all very much bamboozled. That's what I realized when I woke up at 40 a couple of years ago. I realized I've been bamboozled so much. You know what they said in Star Wars, Yoda, the little bonhomme, said you have to unlearn everything you have learned in this world, but that's what it is. You're not, because the world, the society, Babylon, call it whatever you want, will feed you something that they want you to believe in, a reality that is made for the masses, and they want the masses to believe in that reality, and most people are falling for it, like being very, very distracted, whether by Facebook, Twitter, and all that stuff, YouTube, and name it all. It's all distraction. It's all stuff to keep you away from remembering who you are and doing something with your life, living your dream. Living your dream. If you're constantly distracted on TV, on nonsense, you will not, you have to starve your distraction and feed your focus. And this is what the younger generation do not do. They're lost on tablets, on television, on everything to control their mind, when they could take over their own mind and create something very creative. Like, I started being creative, Nick, at 40 years old. I never use my creativity. All I do on YouTube is all from me. I'm alone creating all this, and every day I create every breath I take. That's how I see it now. But most people are not aware even of the power of the mind. We are bamboozled, very, very, the conspiracy, we can talk about Babylon, about all kinds of conspiracy. But the main conspiracy is against us. Look how many people are not living up to their greatness.
Yeah, I agree, and I see more and more how in the families, husbands coming from work and they spend time to play in tanks, or they spend time to watch a TV. But all this stuff, it's just running from yourself, running from the problems, running from different situations. And it was a really funny situation a few days ago when some social guys call me and ask, "Hello, do you have a TV?" I said no. And the second question was, "How many hours you're seeing your TV?" I said I have no television, and they was a bit shocked because many people having this bad habit to spend to lose your time over the television, and they even do it not consciously. They just scrolling from the program to program, from program to program, and then moon and stars come and they say, "Okay, I spent a good time. Now I should go to sleep." Day was very, very nice, but it's like a zombie stuff.
Yeah, it's zombie stuff. We are in the zombie apocalypse. That's what my son tells me. My son, 10-year-old, I go do a video sometime outside with him just to reflect. With a 10-year-old, it's good too. I want to have his point of view on the world, and he always tells me we are in a zombie apocalypse. And it's really true because people are being zombified big time. It's like we have lost that vibration of life, Lou. It's lost until you really. It's in the air, but you don't experience life. You don't live life to the fullest because you're not in touch with something, the greatness inside you. Once you get in touch with that greatness and you start conquering your fears, you find strength in your fears. I'm sure, Nick, you have fears also at the beginning before going after your dream and stuff. But if you don't take risk, you'll never get to anywhere. It's a long journey you have been doing, and it's a journey that's it's on a lifetime thing. It's not something that's just manifesting your greatness doesn't come from one day to another. You must have had a lot of tribulation along the way.
Yeah, for sure. And it's no pain, no development.
No pain, no gain, eh?
Yeah. No pain, no gain. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I recognize that all my inner development was really boosted when I feel when it was hard times and when I feel pain. And after that, I feel that every time I feel pain in some hard situations coming, I'm becoming more mature. I'm becoming more a man in the world. So when I recognize it, from that time I never try to escape from every pain. I want to accept every pain which is coming. And it doesn't matter how hard is it, you overcome it, you're still alive, and then something new are coming, and you can go forward.
Anything that doesn't kill you will make you stronger.
Friedrich Nietzsche.
Yeah. This is it, but sometimes we are very, very much in fear. Like we are kept in fear and doubt. The whole world is in fear, because also, fear, I realized at one point, that the fear is very unconscious. Like it's not, you will fear a bear, you will fear a legitimate fear, a saber-toothed tiger coming down the street, you're going to run. This is a legitimate fear. But all other fears, like what I found, the most fears is what other people's going to think of us. What stopped me from coming out was what my mother's going to think of me, my father, my wife, my children, all the people close. This is what you care. But once you overcome that step, you become very much free. And free to, freedom. We have freedom. You can attain freedom. You can free your mind. You might not free your body to travel wherever you want because there's illusory borders in Babylon. To me, the only real borders we should have. We have a border between Russia and Canada. It's called the ocean. That's the border. Borders in between countries should not exist, and we should have the right to travel freely wherever we want, but there is very much stuff in Babylon restraining our movement. But the movement, we can have the movement of the mind. What is it? A movement is moving the mind. That's what it is. It's bouger l'esprit, moving that up there. Very important. I think it's a must that we start shining some light here in the darkness because it's a very dark world and we need light. We need people that shine light. And whatever you do, I say that all the time, Nick. Whatever you do, you're doing good. We're on the same side. It's good over evil. That's it. That's all. But we put a lot of separation in between us and between people that do good here. This is the big problem. Because if we would not put separation in between people that are doing good things, look, you might not believe all the same stuff I believe or I know or stuff like that, but that doesn't restrain us from getting in touch together and exchanging our ideas and thoughts and stuff. And that's what we must do. But we put a lot of separation ourselves also in life with all kinds of stuff.
Yeah, for sure. And you told about the fear of what people are thinking, what closer people thinking about you. I remember I overcome this thing when I was 30. It was 1 year ago. Uh, it was like you have 10,000 of subscribers in different social medias. We have in Moscow Kontakte, it's a very big social media. We have Facebook, SoundCloud, Last.fm, and tons of others. And when you're receiving in one day at morning message that, hey man, I had download your music and find that your music is shit. I don't like it. I spend my time for free download. I'm waiting while files are downloading, then I'm clicking and saw that your music is shit. I just lose my time. And at evening, you receive opposite message that, man, I just download your music and it's so super cool. You like a god. And if you accept very serious the first and the second, maybe you will live till the 50 because your nerve system will overload it. So when you receive messages like that, you just don't take it personal and try to not take personal all what is coming. You just see what's coming, and you're like a observer of what is going. But if it's good professional critics, you accept it. If it's just critics from ego, and from that point, Russian people cannot make a good critics. They cannot say that, sorry, this is not my cup of tea, or they cannot say that, sorry, it's okay, but from my point of view, this sound must be like this, and this sound must be like this. They saying, hey man, I just spend the time with the music and it's shit. It's not the critics. Critics is something more. Critics must help to understand how to develop, where to go. So I prefer to sit on the European forums and the European sites. But also, it's very funny to recognize that in Facebook there is a much more critics and stupid posts than in Russian social medias, because in Russian social medias we have lots of I have like 6,000 people in Russian social media, and when I see the news from them, they more about the esoterical, psychological ways for music, for good news. When I'm going to Facebook and see, oh no, it's really crap.
It's getting terrible, Facebook. It's so much crap in there, and it's so fake. It's so fake too, because it's all about ego. It's a ego boosting device. That's what I think. It's to boost the ego of people. I've seen it from day one. I've never wanted to get really on Facebook, but I got on Facebook to develop a network. This is my main, like, to connect with you and stuff like that, to connect with people with great minds. I want to connect with great minds. Like, I don't really count on Facebook for my emancipation and salvation. I don't count on this because I know it's very confusing, and we are very much in confusion. And the critics, you were talking about the critics, and I think it's important on a journey like I'm doing and like what you're doing. Anybody that start to go public with their stuff, it's that you tune out the critics inside and outside, but the most is inside, because I realize that enemies on the outside doesn't bother me too much. That enemy here, I am my own worst enemy. So this is what is the most, I think, thing to defeat our demons inside. I'm sure you had experience with that too. We all have demons inside that's restrain us to take action, or that we doubt, or the little voice in the head. So to work on ourselves, to really be focused and feed our focus, find strength in our fears, take us away from that kind of vibration. What do you think?
Yeah, for sure. A human, it's like a fire. Fire can make you warm, but it can burn you. So it's like a water and the fire. And with all of this social media, it's helpful to connect with people like we connected, yeah, from a few thousand kilometers each other. But it's very important how people using it. If they're using it like an instrument uh, to get to their point, what they want to do, what they want to develop, in what direction they should go. It's very good. But if they're using social media like drugs, because I don't know how in Canada, but I see many people, different ages from 15 till 40 and 50. Uh, for example, in metro, if you are going in a rush hour, you almost have no chances to see the faces because all the faces are inside the Facebooks, Blast FMs, and all this stuff. You see the wagon of the people with no faces. You have a desire to come to every person and look at the face, how he looks like. I don't see you. Hey.
And they knew we were gonna get addicted on this. They know all that. They know how the human mind operates. Like, come on, how do you want them to control us? Look, if you don't think we are being controlled, just look at the means of control around us, and that's another one, to control our minds, to take us out of the now. Very much important for them to take us out of the now, because in the now you have all possibilities, all things you can access, the joy, the happiness, and everything. And like you said, now all you see is people like that on their phone everywhere you go, everywhere, restaurants. Now it's epidemic. The zombie epidemic is on. This is really, we're being zombified totally. And I've realized I've got caught up myself a bit in it too. Like sometimes I get caught, but I realize more and more the kind of what kind of distraction takes me away from my focus, and now I'm capable to eliminate it. Same like the ego. Once you're aware of the presence of the ego, you start dissolving it.
Yeah, for sure. Like you said. And one more thing. 1 second. I'm forming my words.
Yeah. No problem. I was saying that it's also the sometimes we have lost exactly, and what makes us lose the touch with those devices is the power of connection and the power of love, that power of connection with other people. We have lost this because people don't talk to each other. Everyone's just for themselves. Shouldn't we spread more love here? Isn't it about love? You have love in your heart, Nick. I have an enormous amount of love. You too. Everyone that I meet, we all love something. We all have love in our heart, because even the most psychopath in the world love his car. So we all have love. So it's about love. Don't tell me love is not the answer. I don't take it.
Yeah, in the core of all what is going and what is happening, yeah, it's love.
Yeah.
And another thing which is recognizing that if you even don't spend a time for stupid television or social medias, even you don't have 10,000 friends in social medias and replying 100 messages in one day, like me sometimes, you're spending a lot of time over the computer.
Yeah.
For example, I have a school of musical production in Moscow. It's called Stereo School. And we have students from different ages, from different experiences. And 3 days per week, I'm working with the students. I think it's like 10, 12 hours, 3 times per week. And when you're sitting almost with no stop, 10 hours over the computer, and when you're finished, you stand up, and you don't recognize, are you a boy or a girl, or always feeling strange, but you look down, you see that you are a boy. You said, okay, and I recognize that 16 years from starting making music. It's already 16 years. We had 15 albums released. We have lots of concerts and we have lots of feedbacks. But I recognize now that 75% of my life I spending in 19-inch monitor. And this is really terrible because you make your life is very tiny, and you want to see people in face, in eyes, even they living not so far from you in your city, but you have no time to visit them, and you try Skype, but you understand that Skype is nice, but it's not giving the full contact with the people. So it's very important, even 1 time or 2 times per week, to meet with the friends in the face and spend time to exchange the energy and spend time together to feel a real life contact, because we're going to total virtual world, and sometimes this virtual world is really scary, because it's much better to spend time to go for a walk than to spend a lot of time over the computer. But when you're a very creative person, you put all your passion in what are you doing, and when you have this passion, you all the time spending over the computer, and this in this way yoga helps a lot. Even you don't go to the school, in the yoga school, yoga section, you can make some exercises at home, and these exercises are giving you back to your body, to your mind, and you feel very much in the moment. That's very important, to make something with your body, with your mind, if you sit like you also over the computer.
Yeah, but that's the thing. That's what I say all the time. We have lost a bit touch with the present moment. And it's called the present for a reason. It's because it's a present. We should enjoy it, the present moment. But we're so bamboozled into all kinds of devices and TVs and everything to take us out of the now and realizing that we could do something with our life. This, and also, the fact that they're not going to tell you in school to live your dream. They're not going to encourage you to live your dream. So it's very important to do the work on yourself to reach that manifestation that you must do while you're here. We must manifest something. I don't have a life. I am a life. This is the thing. It's like you don't have life. You are life. We all are life. So we should all rise and shine and, change this world that's gone beyond madness. It's gone beyond madness. There's people throwing bombs over each other. It's like crazy. But the collective madness, this is what I was saying the other day, the collective insanity, madness, and consciousness is always bigger, much bigger than the individual unconsciousness. Like, I would not throw a bomb over a country. But my country does it. So, it's very, on a personal level, we can talk about, I can be enlightened, all you want. But it's the whole. We have to become conscious as a whole to start taking responsibility. We have the responsibility. We have been given life. We have light inside. We have, all this is waiting to shine. We all have that beautiful light, Nick. What do you think?
Yeah, for sure. And for this point, I have also very interesting story that I have lots of meetings, hundreds meetings, when creative people gather each other, and they start to talk that we are very super nice guys. We're very creative. We can change the world. But when this meeting is end, they going back home and do usual stuff and not do anything what they talk about. I prefer more to do than to talk. It's
This is
very
what.
important because your doings are saying more than your words. So
Yeah,
I'm trying to work and to do as much as I can and less talk. It's better to make the thing done than to talk about it.
but that's it. We wish. A lot of people wish, but they don't go into action. It was my case at one point. I wished to come on YouTube to start something, to start speaking my mind, but never really going into action until one day I decide that's it. I have enough now. They insulted my mind enough. I have enough of the rumors, the lies, all the stuff. I have to come out and speak my mind and let the trauma out because no matter what, the trauma starts very young in our life. We are all very traumatized by the world we live in. It's very insane. And we all sense it when we're young. When we're young, they were being attacked young in the indoctrination and all this stuff because they know young were moldable to pretty much anything. So it's very important to, as parent, also to show the way to your children. Like you said, you have a father and mother that are a lot more into spirituality and discovering who they are than being told by a TV or some kind of government who they are. So at one point, it's us as a people too. We must recognize our magnificence. We must get in touch with the light. We must stay with the light and leave the darkness, leave the Babylonian people alone and with their madness. It's all once because I think also what we're doing on YouTube, to make constant videos about conspiracies and stuff like that. It's just like going in the street with a sign and protesting against them. It's just that we're doing it virtually. We're telling them, oh, yes, my Lord. So that's why talking about them and talking about their stuff, the madness, it's full of madness. I've discovered so much stuff, Nick, going into that rabbit hole, stuff that I never thought they would lie on to, but we are lied to on every level. You look outside of yourself, I'm sure you can agree with me. You said it. Look outside of yourself in Russia, wherever you go in the world, it's all the same system, and all you will see is lies and people living the lie unconsciously, like you said before.
Yeah, and another funny story about the Tibet monks. Some European guys had came to their monastery, and they asking, they saying, guys, you have so cool place. It's very spiritual. You have so nice energy in Tibet and Nepal, and you're growing your consciousness to light. And this monk said, if you can do the same in Detroit or in some big city where bandits and all this stuff, if you can make the same development in spiritual way, so then you will be truly spiritual.
That's it.
That said, that if you can develop your soul and your mind in Russia, so you can move to any another country and continue to develop yourself, because in Russia still lots of people, not that much how maybe some European guys think about us, about the vodka and beer and the ushanka, this Russian had. But we still have lots of people who's drinking and smoking and gangsters.
Intoxicated.
Yeah, and we still have lots of gangsters. They are here, but opposite, we have lots of people who's interested in creativity, in yoga and sports.
Yeah.
And the amount of these people is growing and growing. I see it every day. For example, there is a very great book named Two Lives. It's a Russian book. It's one of the most powerful esoteric book I have ever read. It's more than 1,000 pages, and I recognize in last few months that I saw in metro people who are reading these books and say, "Whoa, it's really not easy book, and it's not easy to find in the physical copy, not on the iPad or something." But I see the people reading the physical copies, and these people, they are not like 50 years old, they 25, maybe 27. And when I saw it, it was so nice, and I have a big smile sitting opposite, see that they are reading, and they see my smile and smile also. And I just make a cool sign, cool, and go to my business.
Yeah. You've been going around for a while now. I don't age is just a stupid, ridiculous number, but I guess 15 years, 15, 20 years of experience in DJ. How did this whole thing started? Now, Nick, tell me about your journey. How this started? Like, since what age are you been interested to play with instruments? Because that's what you do mostly. Like, you create the music, so you're a producer, a sound producer, and you modify instruments. So where did it start, that spark for music? That because obviously this is your thing. You're good at it.
Okay, it had started in 90s. I listened a lot of psychedelic rock music, early electronic music, and my favorite groups was Enigma and Deep Forest.
Yeah,
And
I love that. I love that.
so
I've
nice.
been listening to that a lot. The Deep Forest.
Yeah, yeah. They have so much great albums and great feelings inside their music. And like 3 weeks ago, we was on the concert of Deep Forest in Moscow. It was a big concert, and we had met in personal with his name is Eric.
Wow.
He's very old. He's the man behind the Deep Forest. We take an autograph and make a photo with him, and it was so nice feelings that this guy is like a provider to the great emotions through 15 years, and now you can see him, to talk him, and to make a photo. It was so nice experience.
That must have been, that's the type of gratification you look for in the journey.
Yeah, it's a type of moments in life to live for. Yeah, like this. And in 97, my older brother, on that time, already making music. He was in a group. The group name was Virtual Mode, and they made dream trance, jungle music. It was very popular in that times. But in 98, I think, brother quit the group and start to develop himself in spiritual way. He made seminars. He made different travelings on the places of power around the world. And I shift, after he quit the music, I shift to the music. And I think I was 14. Yeah, like this. I was 14. I have a first computer and the first very funny and silly keyboard. I have very bad Russian speakers, but have lots of ideas, lots of emotions want to express. And the first experience was in so terrible conditions and so terrible software that it took like 2 years to understand the whole process and to make a first kind of tracks. But For now, I even cannot listen it because they're too crap. But it was good for experience. And when I was 15, I started to sell electronic music, but it was not officially. I was a pirate to sell MP3 music burning on audio CDs. As you know, Russia is the biggest country for the piracy, so I put my hand on the piracy also, make my karma a bit black with this. But for 2 years, I had listened more than 1,000 albums during this work.
Wow.
Because we sell a lot of music. It was very different music from house to hardcore to psychedelic trance to ambient. So I had listened not less than 1,000 albums, and then I have a collection of CDs. It was like 1,000 CDs, and I listening all the time, and lots of ideas starts to come in mind, and then in 15 I make a bit investments to the studio. Bought better speakers and bought a better computer, audio card, and make my first tracks, which was released in Australia. One track was released in Australia, and one track was released in Israel. And I have started from the psytrance music till I think 17. I make psytrance music, playing on the parties. I started DJing at 15. And it's very funny that first time I was in a club, I was playing. I'd never been in clubs, and some of more mature guys saying, "Oh, you have nice music, you should play." And I ask, "Oh, I don't even ever been in clubs. Is it safe? Is it okay? Are there any drugs or something?" And I said to Mom, "I go to the club on the all night." And she said, "Oh, what the fuck?" She said, "Maybe you'll take drugs." I said, "No, I don't interested in drugs. I should just play my music."
That's it. You're very, very focused on the mission. You don't take music as a competition or something. As I can sense from you, it's a lot sense of mission. And I think with our life, we should develop a sense of mission also. You know, it's good to do things. Gratification is going to come like whenever you start doing something that if you do it with passion and love, it's going to work. It's going to work because love is the force of creation. So whatever you do, you put love into it, it's going to end up working at one point, but it might take timing. It takes timing for stuff to happen. It doesn't happen from one day to another. And I'm sure like stuff for you didn't start to happen like just like that. You had to go to, like you said, listen to many, many albums, go to do many, many concerts to get your name out there also. It doesn't happen from now you're very well established, as I can say. Like you have your own studio and stuff. You also have a school, like you teach also the music. I saw a video on YouTube where you were teaching in front of a class and everything. I found that very, lots of inspiration from that for sure. So what is your everyday day look like, Nick? Are you always like in the studio or you teach? Like what is your what are you busy at these days then? What's the project you're working on?
My day looks like very, very fast and very random stuff which you try to control, but sometimes you have no idea how to control. 3 times per week I'm working in the center of Moscow in our school studio, teaching students, and this thing, the teaching, it's the most big inspiration. It's the number first to sit 10 hours over the computer, to inspire people, to help them to express themselves, to make they happy.
Yep.
For me, it's the big goal to work in this direction. It take lots of forces, and it take lots of health and other stuff. But when you see how people are shining, how they are, smiling, and also you hear the results, they playing their music, they releasing their music, they forming a bands, they going to work with sound engineering, they opening their own studios in the different cities of Russia. You see that your work is really helpful.
Yeah.
That's why you all the time continuing and continuing. It's 3 days per week, including mixing and mastering work, and including the music for market and for the non-commercial films. For now, I made the music for a film about the nature. I have a friend. He's a biologist. Is it called biologist?
Yeah.
And he traveling to not easy to reach places in Russia. It's very nature places, and he making a film about the plants and the trees and the animals. And we made like 1 hour music. It's more ambient stuff. It's more meditative music, but also some soundtrack music for this film. And I hope that in this year he will finish this film, and there will be a presentation, and everybody can enjoy. Even people don't know Russian language, they can see how Russia is beautiful. And
music is the universal language.
Yeah. And so many beautiful places in Russia still not developed. We have lots of territories which is really wild. There are no people like Altai and Mongolia and others. It's still like virgin nature. It's not so much places in the earth on other planet still virgin.
I think Canada and Russia are very special for that. In Canada, also up north, you have places I don't think human ever been there. There's places, those islands up north in Canada near. So Canada and Russia are I find not only the country similar, but the people in it too. The people, Canadian people and Russian people, are very, very similar in the way they think. We have the same climate almost, so we are used to the same weather, same harsh stuff, and I think Russian and Canadian are very. I don't want define myself with one word. One word doesn't define who I am, but that's the country where I am, Canada. So you are in Russia, and I think we join a lot together on many, many levels. What do you think?
Yeah, for sure. And we have the same kind of seasons changing, and we have the same kind of nature. We have this cold winter with minus 25 or something. So yeah, we have lots of similarities, and
I think so.
This moment also have influence on the people. If you're living in the sunny country, you have sunny mentality or something like this. When you're living in the cold country, your mentality can be very different, from very angry and wild to very good and spooky.
Everything we experience pretty much is due to our environment. Also, we are very much programmed by our environment. So if you live in an environment that is harsh and you have to thrive to survive, and you have sometimes I had winters here minus 60. You take your hand out, it freezes. It's very it's not something that, and it's very also but it's good. It's a good experience. Like, we don't have that every year, but it happened once. But usually, like you say, it's minus 20, minus 25, stuff like that. So I think it comes and it defines a lot of our character and our behavior, also the environment. So yeah, totally agree with you. Now, for the music, I want to talk a bit about music because I'm very, very much into music. I love music. I love reggae music, but I love any kind of music, not just reggae music. I find it's me. I just want to see people live their truth, model your truth and live it. Don't just speak about it. This is the thing you were saying before. Now we're very much caught up in speaking and not doing. We wish, but it's time to stop wishing and start doing. This is what I think we must all realize at one point. It's good to get inspiration from people, but we must move and become a leader ourselves. And that's what you do with your people in the school. You teach them, but not only that, you motivate them to become leaders themselves. And that's great. That's what we should do. A good leader will create other leaders, not followers.
Yeah, for sure.
That's how I see it. You are doing a great job because it's motivating them. Also takes a lot of energy from. I do it every morning. I get it. You have to remain very focused. You have to become a beacon of light, a beacon of hope, because people are looking up to you, and that's okay. You have the strength to carry on. Nick, you've been given that strength. It's for a reason. It's not for you to sit on it, that's for sure. And you're not sitting on your greatness, and I find that phenomenal. This is what we have to become here, phenomenal, or we will be forgotten. That's very simple. If you're not phenomenal in this world, you'll be forgotten. So to see people shining like that, it's very encouraging. Very encouraging that to see the shift in the people, in the awareness of people also growing. What's expand, it's the awareness. The consciousness stays pretty much the same. It's to be conscious of what you eat, of what you listen, what you look at. Becoming conscious is a very big step to move forward with abandon, because on a journey like yours, you cannot move forward with restriction. You move forward with wild abandon, and that's when you really have an open heart full of love, and you reach out to others and you make other people feel good. It's okay we all see the world the way we see it. We all have our own little world, and we see the world like it's very hard to reach the heart of people, to reach their heart and to make them change. Everybody has to create the change by themselves. My goal is to reach the heart of people so they can implement a change their ways, because that's what we have to do, Nick, if we want to see better days for people that are suffering, because there's lots of suffering that shouldn't happen. This place wasn't intended for us to suffer. You agree with that?
Yeah, I'm agree with that. And in this case, I have also very interesting experience. I from the 15 till 30, 15 years, I developed my personality and my skills and tried to inspire people a lot. And I spent 15 years in really strong flow of all everyday work and everyday movement. And as you said, it was DJing and radio at first. It was also musical projects and albums and concerts, and school, and also sound design work with the synthesizers, and also master classes almost every month. In past, now it's a bit less because the time. But after when I was 30, I find opposite category of people who just enjoy their life. They don't want to be famous. They don't want to be super well known, but they have a middle work, and they spend their Sundays making barbecue and sitting on the outside of the house on the chairs, and they enjoy the sunset. And when I first recognized those people, I was a bit shocked, and I feel a bit uncomfortable with them because they so slow. They enjoy every moment. They're sitting and saying, so how's it going? And you say, oh, it's lots of going. It's in this direction is going, in this direction is going. Say, okay, for me, it's not something really changed. I just go to the work and go back to my family and sitting and looking at the sunset. It's so nice. And you sit and think, well, it's very interesting people. They just enjoy the simplicity
Yeah,
like that.
the simplicity of life. But this is something myself that I wasn't really in touch. You said the sunset. Before my awakening that is still going on. I'm still on an awakening. Pat, I never thought of really sun gazing and stuff like that. I was really much out of touch with nature. I think this is we are even taught to fear nature. This is the thing. You know, we are taught to fear nature, to go in the woods and explore. And, you know, when this is our true nature, there's no fear. Animals will attack you if they sense the fear. If you're there to harm them or something, like, okay, I'm not saying if you get face to face with a grizzly bear that you're gonna escape. It's not what I mean. But I mean, I've seen grizzly bears beside people doing nothing just because they weren't sensing the fear. Like, we are one with the animals, with nature, with everything around us. And this is another thing, you know, just the fact that we are eating flesh. Listen, this is a big downfall of humanity, I think. I'm vegetarian myself. I try to eliminate all animal product because I realize that, hey, listen, this is a pure madness, eating flesh. I realize that, whoa, I can participate in that. It's a satanic rituals. We have to say it for what it is. That's what it is for me. Anyway, today I am capable to look at it and say, hey, I don't want to cause harm anymore because we are causing lots of harm also with the animals. With, you know, we torture them heavily. You know, it's a big, big torture. And would you do that to a person? No. It's a, you know, so why we do it to the, we all everywhere where I look, it's destruction. People are destroying everything and destroying even their own life. You know, so.
Yeah. And for the vegetarians talks, I have also a story. Had lots of stories for the every talk, and this story was in last April, 1 year ago, when I had invited to Israel to participate in the festival, among with ISDANA and solar fields and other projects, and I spent time and stay at organizer's house, and his wife is vegan. And when I just came from airport to Ramat Gan, first what she asked, Nick, are you vegetarian? I said, yes. And she asked, are you drinking milk or eating cheese? I said, yes. And she said, are you a fool? And when she said, are you a fool? I'm lost. Well, what I should tell? I cannot tell that I'm not a fool, because a bit yes. I cannot tell that I'm a fool. And
you know what, Nick?
it was very funny. And after she said, look at me, I am vegan, and when you're vegan, you are very calm and spooky. I look at her, but she smokes 3 pieces per hour. She's not spooky and she's not calm. Where is the connection?
That's it. I think it's just we have to become just one with life, and one with life for me is eliminating the toxins in my life. I don't smoke cigarette. I don't drink alcohol. You know, all the stuff that doesn't support me, I don't consume it anymore. I consume good stuff, and you know, we all need some kind of clutch. I have marijuana. I have that medical marijuana is helping me to not to stay stoned. I don't want to stone myself out. There's different type. You know, there's another thing that is very misunderstood in our society is marijuana. It's very marginal because for a reason it has great healing potential. But anyway, we are being very much bamboozled into thinking that what's legal is good for us. So this is what's happening. And we think, especially in Russia, you are Like I see Russian people with a bottle of vodka. That's the image I have in my head. I think pretty much everybody around the world see Russian people with a bottle of vodka, you know? So same like you see Canadian with a beer, the Molson Canadian or something. So we have images preconceived for sure, but I think it's up to us as a collectivity to just wake up and do something that can enrich other people's life and, you know, bring inspiration to people, because that's what the world needs. No matter what I'm gonna say to you today or to people listening, if they don't, like you say, apply the teaching and go back on their couch and do nothing, it's useless. So you have to move into action with what we're saying. I hope this talk will have inspired people to know just to start something, you know, whether it's working 1 hour per day on your dream, 1 hour. Like you might work 8 hours a day in Babylon, that's okay. But at night, what do? Sit in front of the TV or you work on your dream? You know, because we all go ahead.
Yeah, and I have one joke about the vodka. We're having in Russia we're having a brand for the food, which is named for every day, and they have vodka, so it's called vodka for every day.
Imagine that's how they brainwash people, eh? Vodka, it's very subliminal. It's very subliminal, the programming in Babylon. Like it's very subtle, and to see it, you have to have open eyes. If your eyes are not open, your mind is not activated, you will not catch our drift here today. So your mind has to be really activated and just have open eyes and question things, you know, question why we don't question nothing. Nick, there's something happening with humanity. We're not even questioning the government and what they tell us. So we are very much down the path of call it a bit retardation or insanity or whatever you want to call it. But the world has lost we have lost our way for sure, because if not, love would be the predominant thing we would see on this plane, and now it's just mostly hatred and wars and stuff that people you know, follow orders. We are being very much order followers also, you know. That's a big problem also.
That's why I had moved from trance music to more chill out and ambient music, and found it more deep. And I remember when I released first album, it was 2007. 10 years ago, I had started to move in a esoterical and spiritual way, and the first album was called Steps to the Great Knowledge, where the great knowledge is all what you want to experience, what you want to know. And the first album was released where? In Canada.
Oh yeah, that's great.
Those times it was Sunline Records, but now it's Altar Records. They have
Altar Records. Yeah, I saw that. I put the link in the description for people. People can look in the description.
It's Gabriel Dijizen from Altar Records. He's a very nice guy. He works a lot with the artists. He having a big pool from artists from all of the world, and he's also a very good designer, a musician, sound designer, and mastering engineer. And when I had released my first album, I spent like 3 months on the nights, because a day I had worked. At nights, it was sleepless nights to send album to the labels, and I had sent album to 100 labels from around the world for 3 months, and I have answers from 3 of them, and we start working with Gabriel, and when he first time listening to the album, he said that, you know, the quality of your music, it's not so good. The clearness of the sounds, not so good, but the ideas are very deep. So he said, I tried to make better sound and good mastering to let people know your ideas. And from this point, I start to move and to develop myself how to make a qualified sound, how to make transparent sound, and still 10 years had passed, and I'm still working in this way every day to how to make sound more clear, more transparent. And for the first album, when it was released, and like half of a year or 1 year after, I asked the label manager. It was not a Gabriel; it was a different one. How it sells, because how it sells, it's also a good point. Do people like it or not? And the manager, it's American guy. It was American guy. Said, "Oh, you know, your album, your debut album sells very bad. Nobody buying your album." And I was really frustrated. And have that point, which artists of different genres having sometimes in their life, that all I'm doing is useless. No one is interested in me. I spend so much forces, but no feedbacks, or something like that. But after a short period, this label manager had escaped from the label, and he stole lots of money. And they, from those moments, they start to work with the Gabriel, and this label manager is gone with the money. And Gabriel opened his email, and inside of these emails was a real sales statement, how the albums was sale. And I found my album in sales on the third or fourth place. So it was sales very good. It was for the I don't remember 1 year, maybe it was digital sales for $2,000. It was very great level for ambient music. So this guy from America just lie me that it's not selling.
Yep.
From this point, I start to believe in myself and start to developing my music, and that's how my main project Chronos was formed. And from those moments, 10 years, we're moving and moving with the music, with the band, with the idea, and the idea is the music for the awakening consciousness.
Yeah. Do you do everything from creating the music to marketing it now? Do you have your own market label, like because it's good to, like, you need DJs, you need promoter, you need a whole team around you to be able to push your music. It's good to make it, to be the artist, to be the producer, but you need a little team around to push it on the market, to sell it. So what's your do you take care of everything? What kind of team do you have around you?
In this point, people splitting also into categories. One, people who can make a very great, very beautiful musical product, but they are not managers. They cannot develop themselves and sell music and promote music. And that's why lots of cool music and very interesting artists are nobody knows about them, because they have no point to move themselves, to promote themselves. And other people, we talk about the underground culture. Opposite people making music, producing music, and promote music themselves. Because in commercial music, some people helping to the major artists to record their music, to record the text for the music, and other team helping major artists to make gigs, to make a good, great promotion around the world. In this small area of music, which is underground electronica, we involved in, there is no such a big business to promote in the comparison of commercial music. So for me, I'm starting from idea. The idea can be a melody which is playing in the head, or some beat, or some atmosphere, or you're just sitting over the machines and playing and pushing the lights, the knobs, and ideas are coming all the time. And then you're making arrangement, how your musical idea is development in time. After you make mixing, after you make mastering, and after you make a promotion. After you make concert, a presentation, you're organizing the concert. So you make all from the beginning till the end. Like, I think 10 years, I was in that flow. I make all the things myself, from the idea to the concert and presentation. And I organize the band and make repetitions with the band and promote music online. But after 10 years, I had burn, and I have
for sure.
yeah, I have no forces for a few months, and I was in mountains of Caucasian mountains like 1 month to reboot of the body, of the mind, and 1 month no talk to any human, just mountains, yeah, nature, and me. And after I become more smart and find some helpers. So I have one girl which is helping me to promote all of the work of we are doing with the Chronos music, with the stereo school. And for now, we are also opening the shop, online shop, and also a studio for making sounds for the modern synthesizers. Software and hardware synthesizers, we start to make presets and sounds like, I think 7 years ago. For now, we have a big pool, like of maybe 20 products for the different synthesizers. It's more than 1,000 sounds made it from scratch, from zero.
Yeah, I know. I saw you playing with wire on the video and you're preparing some kind of project, and you
Yeah,
I think you really like to explore, experiment, and make new sounds out of it. Am I right?
yeah, and sometimes it's a joke and not a joke. It's sometimes more cool than make a sexual stuff with a woman,
Yeah, yeah.
or on the same level. You have a same joy, not less.
Yeah, yeah.
And sometimes your woman said, "Oh, you're again spending this time with your synthesizers, and you again forget about me. Where are you? Look, I'm very beautiful," like this. So it's really patient in the. It's really patient to work with the hardware synthesizers because it's physical. You can touch it, and some of them even don't have any presets. You every day you start from zero and make your own adjustments, make your own sounds. If you want to save it, you only can make a photograph of all the knobs and all the sliders and all the keys. But even you make a photo and try to tune the same sound like on photo, they never be the same. They all the time is a bit different because the analog flow of the sound. It's not a digital. It's not a processor. It's analog components, which is a bit, which is how it's said. I will say simple. They are alive.
Yeah.
When you're moving the knobs, you don't know which final result will be. So it's all the time like a game. You're playing a game and you don't know what to expect.
No, and it's good because also, you know, that this is what is good when you work on a project, on something like you do, on your dream, on elevating humanity to a higher vibration. It's very it makes you feel good, also makes you feel like you're part of something, and this is what people around you sometimes cannot always sense the passion and the love that you have for what you do, because it's been given to you also. It's like what I do here. For sure I have passion for it. It's what's been given to me. I think I have a gift as a speaker. It's just I have to practice, practice, and practice. And it's the same for music. You got there because you're practicing, practicing, and practicing again.
Every day with no except.
That's it. It's non-stop. It's an everyday thing. Hey, Nick, I don't want to hold you too long. It's an hour and a half already. But I'm very, very pleased that you came on the Tru-Mon show. We're gonna have another one. Like I'll have you again, and we'll extrapolate a bit more about the music. That was just a first meeting together, but we're gonna get together again another show, and maybe in like 2-3 weeks, a month, when you're available, and we'll extend a bit more on music and other stuff, because I could speak with you all day. I could stay online all day, but also
for me, Yannick, it's very big joy to speak with you, and to communicate, to exchange the experiences. And honestly, I don't recognize that 1 hour and a half had passed.
Me neither. I just looked at it and I'm like, whoa, it's been an hour and a half. And I don't like to make it too long, because attention span of people is already pretty short.
Let's not be boring, guys. Yes.
Yeah, that's it. So we keep it a very good vibration. But no, that's it. Thank you very much, Nick. It's been like a very, very good vibration. I really feel you to the max. And for sure, your stuff is really, really amazing. And I want people to get in touch with what you are. Are you open also for collaboration and stuff like that with other artists and other producers and stuff to expand the network? Or you concentrate, like, I know, I'm sure you want to reach the world?
We are very wide opening to communicate with the artists, and we all the time collaborating with the artists around the world. And we have lots of versus tracks with the artists around the world. And now I preparing the project, which code name is Chronos and Friends.
Oh.
And this project is a collaboration projects with the different musicians, different poets from around the world. Some musicians, some composers, guitarists, flute players, with the different electronic producers. Because when you're starting to make music, especially electronic, it's one-man journey. But when you have a big experience and when you make a lot of albums, you feel that music, it's the gathering.
Yeah.
When you feel that many people like it as one, and when you collaborating with the people, you feel that your music became more deep and more wide, and it's not your music, it's just the music which is flows and goes. And also tomorrow, if I don't missing something, there will be a fresh release with O'Neill on the Plastic Magic Records. I think it will be tomorrow at 15.
Yeah, he was talking to me about that, a new release that coming.
Yeah, and he was talking with me also. Not forget to promote release. That's why I'm talking that tomorrow will be a release of new work of Chronos project. The code name is Tadhata. Tadhata, it's the term from Buddhism. In short, it means that you are here and now and fully experiencing what is going in the moment. That means Tadhata. So tomorrow will be some ethnical house vibes. And for me, it's a bit new experience because before Michael O'Neill had contact with me, I never done house tracks. but he likes very much house music, and he asked me a few times, Nick, please make house tracks. So for me, it's very big goal, and it's a very great opportunity to develop the wideness of the styles and involved in something new.
Are you open to any style of music? Someone was asking before, what kind of music are you into? But you're into any kind of music. Music is music.
Yeah, any kind of music. One exception is the Russian mafia music. We have special stuff, which is Russian mafia music. Yeah, it's very funny music. It's mostly about the time spending in the jail and vodka and all this stuff. We have very strong scene of Russian mafia music here.
But that's it. That's what they portray. People drunk, and that's what they want. They want us to be drunk and lose our way.
It's very funny that this style called chanson, but chanson it's a French song, but Russian chanson it's a very very bad songs with the bad words and all the stuff, and the music is like da 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 da. So it's for the guys who are drinking vodka and beer like this. Instead of that, all the other music is very great.
Yeah. Where have you learned your English? You're pretty good in English,
Not so good.
No, but where did you learn it? Just like you didn't learn that in school. You must have came here in Canada or America or something, no?
First time I just when I start to try to release my first album, I make lots of messages on email, and these messages helps a lot to learn English, because when you have a live flow of communication, you start to think in English.
Yeah.
And it helps you a lot. For now, I have no experience for a few months. That's why I'm talking a bit slow and try to focus. And after that, have a lot of communication with the artists around the world, and the first abroad festivals in Austria, in Czech Republic, and in Vengria, with a really alive contact with the people. And first contact was really terrible, because I came and listening a lot, came to this place and listening a lot, but I'm just not say any word, and they joke at me all the time. And when I got back, I make a decision to learn English much better, and I found a person in Long Island in America, and had a communication with her 1 year on Skype.
So that's it. That's where you learned it. You had someone, a good mentor.
Next year I come to the same people. I start joke at them and start to talk much more involved in process and feel much more comfortable like this.
So we're going to do more shows together. It's going to be good for your English.
Yeah, it will be a really pleasure for me. Thank you very much for invitation. Thank you very much for spreading what you're spreading. This information for awakening consciousness. It's very great.
Exactly. It's to awake our consciousness. Is to be aware, first of all, who you are, where you are, what you're doing here. These are existential questions that we have been given the answer, but are they really true? That's the thing. They feed us a lot of stuff, but a lot of stuff is just illusion. So, yeah, we're going to keep on rising, keep on shining. This is what the world needs, and the world needs love. We need love. That's what we need. We don't need confusion, illusion, and Babylonian stuff. We need love, and we need to spread the love. And that's what me and Nick intend to keep doing, spreading the love and the good vibration, because music is a good vibration.
Every day.
big up yourself, big up everyone. Thanks everyone for being here in the chat. It was going really lots of love in there. I see the live chat because there's a live chat on the side. I don't know if you see it, Nick, but there's a live chat.
No, they don't see it.
There's all kinds of people commenting, and like we had 12 viewers live at one point. It's pretty good. Like that's what we want, to just not for us to be famous, but people to, we have a message here. It's about the message. It's not the messengers. I don't care. It's not about me. Don't take my personal equation in there. It's about us. That's what it is. So yeah, we rise and we shine. And Nick, we get in touch together soon. Like I said, I'll get back to you and we do another one, because that was a massive vibe. I'm gonna re-listen to it, re-watch it, because I felt a very, very, very high vibe with you, and I feel it from the day we started communicating together. I felt the vibe between us, and it's great. And we're just gonna make it grow. What about that?
Yeah, for sure.
Greatness. So thanks a lot, Nick, and I wish you the best and everything in all your endeavor. Be bold, my friend. Be bold and rise and shine, and I wish you the best. I'm very, very, very happy to see you succeed. You know, success is a definition. We all have our own definition of success, but to me, it's becoming the person you want to become in life. And Nick, come on, you're doing a great job at that. So big up, big time, and keep on rising, my brother.
Thanks. It's just a natural flow.
Natural flow. It's love. We act from it's natural what we're doing. I do this with very much ease, and Nick do his stuff with very much ease, because it is natural. This is what we have to realign ourselves with, the natural aspect of ourselves, not the fake ego stuff that we've been molded to in. So yeah, big up, Nick. And big up everyone again. Thanks again for all being here and commenting in the chat and being present with us, because these people are as present as we are, because they're
in the same boat.
Live talk. So it's very very encouraging to see humanity taking a shift in the awareness, and asking questions, and we're taking back our power little by little, one by one. And one day the world will change, but be the change, be the light. Big up.
Woo!
Big up, Nick. We're out.
Big up. See you next time.